In this video animation I've put together, I'm going to be going through a basic overview of how purchasing property in your self-managed super fund works when you utilise a loan and instalment warrant structure. The reason I've decided to put this video together is that there is a lot of information on the net which is either a written description or a diagram of the process. And it simply doesn't help the everyday property investor understand how they can use their current superannuation as a deposit for an investment property. I will be honest, there are some diagrams out there which I've seen, and even I don't understand. So hopefully this video will take some of the mystery out of the process of using your super to buy property. The first step in the process is that you need to establish a SMSF, or a self-managed super fund. The SMSF is going to be the beneficial owner of the property. This means the self-managed super fund receive all the benefits such as the rental income and capital growth from the property. The next step is that you need to roll over or transfer your existing industry or retail superannuation accounts to your new SMSF. This process can take up to a couple of months, which means you need to organise it quite a while before you are actually ready to buy an investment property using your super. At this stage, if necessary, you may need to make additional contributions into your new SMSF. The combined amounts from the transfers from your existing super accounts and any contributions you make into the SMSF will form the deposit for your investment property. Step 3 should be the easiest and most enjoyable step: finding an appropriate investment property for your SMSF to purchase. Once you have found a suitable investment property, you can execute a contract to purchase the property, the same way you would purchase any other investment property, with one key difference. The purchaser listed on the contract must be the trustee of the property trust, which I'll talk about in more detail in the next step. Also, at this stage, you'll need to pay the deposit for the investment property. The deposit will be paid for by your SMSF using the monies it has received via the transfers from your existing industry or retail super accounts. It is extremely important that the deposit does indeed come from your SMSF. There must be a paper trail showing that your SMSF paid the deposit. Step 4 is that you need to set up a special trust that will be the legal owner of the property. This type of trust has a few names, but is typically referred to as either a custodian trust, a debt trust, or a property trust. For the moment, I'm going to refer to it as a property trust. Now, this trust is a lot different to a typical trust you may use for owning investment property, such as a family trust or discretionary trust. A property trust, when we talk about purchasing property using our super, is a very simple trust that enables our self-managed super fund to obtain a loan to purchase an investment property. Something our self-managed super fund can't do by itself. It needs the property trust. Now, the property trust is going to be the legal owner of your investment property. This means that the only job the property trust has is to hold the title of the investment property on behalf of your self-managed super fund. So, when the property purchase is all settled and finalised, you can virtually forget about the property trust until either you've got to sell the property or when the loan is paid off in full, which could be 25 or 30 years down the track. Your property trust doesn't need to worry about opening a bank account or getting a tax file number, ABN number, or the need to do annual accounts and tax returns. It is simply a legal tool to enable your SMSF to purchase an investment property and have a loan, which, as I mentioned earlier, a self-managed super fund can't do by itself. The next step is that your SMSF needs to apply to the bank for a loan to complete the purchase of the property. Now, the type of loan that SMSF needs to apply for is not just any loan. It is what's called a limited recourse loan. This means that if the SMSF defaults on the loan, the only action the bank can take is to repossess that property. It can't touch any other assets owned by the SMSF or you personally. It is limited to that property only. Step 6. Once the limited recourse loan has been approved by the bank, the next step is settlement. On settlement, the monies from your superannuation rollovers and contributions, which are sit in your SMSF bank account, and the limited recourse loan from the bank will be combined to pay the vendor for the property. The vendor will then transfer legal ownership of the property to your property trust, and the bank, of course, will take security over the property. On or before settlement, your SMSF will also pay all costs associated with the purchase, such as legal fees, stamp duty, and any bank establishment fees. These amounts do not come out of your pocket personally. Once the property purchase has been finalised, your SMSF will start to receive all the advantages of owning the investment property. Your SMSF will receive the cash flow from the rental income and be responsible for all the expenses related to the property. Your SMSF will also be responsible for paying the interest and repayments on the limited recourse loan from the bank. Okay, so this concludes the basic overview of how you purchase property using your super with an instalment warrant and SMSF limited recourse loan. Please be aware that the information I've provided in this video is a very general overview of how the process of buying property with your super works. However, if you have this basic understanding of how the structure works, then you will have a major advantage over 95% of the other property investors out there in the market. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, then please click on the link below to visit my blog, where I'll post a transcript of this video and also some additional notes on how buying property with your super works. If you're watching this video on my blog, then please see below for more information.